Hey, welcome back. PHE 289 Soccer Officiating Rule 2. Hey, we're moving right along with this stuff. Rule 2 is incredibly short, okay, but dictates what it is that you're going to use to play the contest with. The ball, okay? It's pretty simple. So what I want to do is begin with this particular video about the ball, and we'll go from there. There are a lot of similarities to what I'm getting at here, so let's pay attention to what's going on with this.
Law 2, the ball. The first thing the law says is that the ball needs to be spherical. That means round. Frankly, I've never seen anyone try to play a game of soccer with anything other than a soccer ball. The law further goes on to state that the ball should be made of leather or other suitable material. Now, what's suitable to me may not be suitable to you and vice versa, but use common sense. Here are some examples of non-suitable material. Next, the ball should be no bigger than 28 inches in circumference, for obvious reasons. Now, in youth soccer games, we play with different sizes, smaller ones for smaller players. And lastly, Law 2 states that the pressure in the ball be equal to 0.6 to 1.1 atmosphere at sea level, or 8.5 pounds per square inch to 15.6 pounds per square inch at the start of the match. What that means is, you don't want the ball to be too hard or too soft. An easy way to determine this is by pressing your thumbs into the ball. If you can't press them in at all, the ball's too hard and has too much air, which can injure younger players. If you can press it in a lot, the ball doesn't have enough air and is too soft, which will make it harder to kick.
Okay, and that does a pretty good job of explaining the ball. It's really not much to it, as you can tell. I mean, this thing's only, what, got 4 articles, 5 articles to it. It doesn't even occupy a full page on page 14 of your book. There are a couple things, though, that I want to point out. Let's go ahead. I'm going to restart this video. I want to show you something.
The first thing
I'm going to do that just so that you can see a couple of things as it relates to not only our commentator, but also the thing behind him. And what I'm getting at, of course, is this goal. You may remember in Rule 1 that if we had a portable goal, notice the wheels on this guy, that it had to be anchored. This is what I'm talking about. If you see one of these frames, notice the bar at the bottom, wheel, of course, you know it's portable, it must be anchored. There's something else to talk about a little bit, not much, but as it relates to you as the soccer referee in the high school game in Kentucky. Other states may or may not have the same restriction. But honestly, what we're looking for here is what's on his sleeve of his right arm. That's the United States Soccer Federation logo. We do not recognize that in the National Federation of High Schools in Kentucky. We prefer that if you buy your uniforms, that in fact that logo is non-existent on your uniform. And in some cases, just to start out with, if that's all you've got, hey, we live with it. But I just want to make sure that you knew about that. In addition, I need to bring something else to your attention. Let's go ahead and bring that up now. In your rules, you'll notice, in the rule book, you'll notice that the ball becomes deflated. It's got to be replaced. It's declared dead where it was last played, and the game is resumed by a drop ball between 2 opposing players at the spot where it was last played. You need to be very familiar with that. Okay, so if in our game, in the high school game, the ball becomes defective or deflated in any way, shape, form, or fashion, make it unplayable, you, the referee, are going to drop that between 2 opponents to put it back into play, after obviously it has been replaced. Now, in addition, I want to make sure that you see this, that Article 5 indicates that the ball shall include the National Federation of High Schools authenticating mark. That can be a ring around usually where we inflate the ball, okay, or it'll have these letters on it, okay. Is that important? Yeah. Are you going to play the game without it? Yeah, okay, but you're going to make mention to the home team management that the ball needs to have these authenticating marks on them, okay. Not much more to this You know, the video pretty well did a pretty good job with that. No more than 28 inches in circumference, 27 is the least it can be. This will be a size 5 ball. As he indicated, youth teams use smaller balls, 5, 1, 3, that kind of thing. For you'd be surprised. They get very small because we play this at very, very young ages in a lot of parts of the United States, including here in Murray, Kentucky, and throughout Western Kentucky, throughout Kentucky in general. You can become a USS soccer referee and get involved in that in a very big way during the spring of the year, if in fact that's what you like, or even in the fall. They play in the fall as well. I'd like to have you as a high school soccer referee, and these are the rules that you need to become familiar with. The next rule, Rule 3, as you can see here, players and substitutions, well, that becomes a little bit more complex. We'll get into that in just a little bit. Okay, so that's all I've got on Rule 2, the ball.